In July 2019, the people of Mowanjum community, displaced from country over 70 years ago, began a journey back to their homelands on which they and their ancestors once walked.
Gracious God, we thank you for this moment etched in history, when the people who lived at Kunmunya, their descendants, and the descendants of the missionaries come together to be in relationship. And now as we cross over to Kunmunya, we pray that you might be with us to give us peace, safety, and may this be a joyous time. In the name of Christ, Amen.
Amen.
It's the first trip back to the old mission settlement of Kunmunya in over 70 years for some of the elders who spent time there as children. Kunmunya sits in Worrorra country, over 400 kilometres to the northeast of Broome in Western Australia. It was established as a mission site in 1916, and at its peak, over 100 people from the surrounding area lived and worked at Kunmunya until its closure in the late 40s.
In the back we had another veggie garden.
Yeah, and that over that side.
The boys been look after that side. We had pineapples and all that side. We had to plant peanuts. We had to plant cabbage. We had to plant carrots. Everything in that orange tree, and one orange tree in there. We had to work for our food.
I am happy to be here. It reminds me of my childhood. You know, for me and Gudu, because we were kids here.
Kunmunya Mission was established by the church as a way of giving the indigenous people of the area a soft landing into European culture, a culture that was vastly different to their own and that was now beginning to encroach on their lands.
The smoking ceremony, we do that when we're going back to country, because that way we let the spirits of our ancestors from the country, let them know that we're here, and also to protect us.
That's my name.
There is a tremendously strong connection between Aboriginal people and the land, their land, and that coming back to their land invigorates them and makes them feel at home and comfortable, and all is well with the world.
It's so important for them to come here because they do hear the stories at Mowanjum, they are told, but the relationship is here, not at Mowanjum. They are displaced from their land, and to be truly relating to the place is to come here and to let the rocks speak to you, to let the trees and the animals speak to you. The relationship is here.
Today, very little remains of the once thriving mission that for 10 years was led by Reverend Robert Love, a man who was much revered by the locals. Ian and Charlie Love, two descendants of Reverend Love, made the journey back to Kunmunya alongside the people of Mowanjum.
The feeling walking around gives me a feeling of awe about what was achieved here, because the conditions are harsh. I mean, to come and actually work at this place, and that's not really what he was here for, to work. He was here to try and introduce people to gently into Western ways and the missionary ways, and within that he allowed their own culture to be interwoven amongst that.
You know, when I mentioned to people that my great uncle was a missionary in the Kimberley up in 1927, a lot of people have the views of missionaries as being, you know, white people coming in and saying my way or the highway, and you know, try and change their culture to fit their view of the world. But Uncle Bob was not like that at all.
People used to go to church here. They used to say the Lord's Prayer in Worrorra. It says, Ari Iraya Arkananga Anjordanya Munmumbo Mama Gunin Pandayang Unjanang Kunyangunyang Halai Kawanana.
It's 70 years since the last service was held in this place. And so we honour and we remember, we ask the Spirit might bless us as we meet together and share communion in the name of Christ. Amen.
These people have been here for 60,000 years, more or less. And that is a treasure for the whole of mankind. And that treasure is held by so few people. And it behoves us to listen to them, to respect them, nurture and encourage them, so that we keep this precious gift of a very ancient culture from which the whole of mankind can learn.
For the children of the Wandjina, the opportunity to return to the country their ancestors walked was the realisation of a long-held dream. It brought renewed hope and the belief that their people will once again walk this country in the future.
Oh,